Hello, H cuties, and welcome. Happy Monday. You feeling good? Are ya? Yeah? How are you? Let me know how you really are. I'm your host, Postface Quizza, Scott Rogowski, on this August 6th, live with over 350,000 of you right now, including Becca with a birthday, Erin Jane Roberto babysitting, Laura, Lisa, Kevin, Alvin, Simon, and Theodore. Also, happy birthday to Andy Warhol. He would have been 90 years old today. Would have had a killer Instagram. Here's how we play HQ. I'm going to ask 12 questions today. If you answer them all correctly, you're going to win a share of $5,000. Yeah. You know what you can do with that kind of money? Well, you can buy over 3,000 cans of Campbell's soup. It's better than a painting of one, right? And cheaper. Hey, I just met you. And this is crazy, but here's my numero uno. Let's do it, baby. In a 2012 song in the summer, Carly Rae Jepsen sang, "Call me what? Maybe H Cutie or Ishmael." Hey, I just met you. It's always a good time with Canadian Carly Rae, who finally got her sword at Lollapalooza. I got my scissors, and she got her sword. She first burst onto the scene in a big way 6 years ago with "Call Me Maybe," of course. Now try to get that song into your head the rest of the day. 344,899 got it right. 5,000 thought it was Ishmael. Nope, she's not singing about Moby Dick. Here's my number, 202-224-2541. Call me maybe? We're calling Q2. How much momentum an object has is based on its mass and its what? Beauty, velocity, or transparency? Momentum, problems. That's what I say. Here's a fact. The formula for momentum is P equals mv, where P is momentum. Why is P momentum? Because M is already used for mass, and V is velocity. Go ahead, you can laugh all you want. I've got my velocity, 334,853. Have some nice momentum going into Q3. But before we get there, I want to tell you about Thursday night, folks. It is theme night on HQ. We're celebrating art history, art contemporary, maybe art future even. Who arted? We did, or we will, on Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Set an alarm. Brush up on your art knowledge. Q3, legendary Alabama coach Bear Bryant got his nickname from doing what activity? Bear wrestling, ostrich farming, or falconry? Folks, this is a Q3. We're not trying to trick you here. Bear Bryant. He got his name from maybe something involving bears. Yeah, he was legendary for his national championships at Bama, Roll Tide, and his insanely difficult practices. They would have been more insane had his players wrestled captive bears, which is what he did at a carnival when he was 13, thus the nickname Bear Bryant. Bear wrestling is your answer, and who's going to be riding that Crimson Tide? 270,254 are rolling with my homies. That's a cue for tonight. Will be hair. That's tonight at 9. But we got a hot quiz right now. And Jersey has got Princeton, an Ivy League school. New Hampshire has Dartmouth. Vermont might be the greenest state of them all, but the verdure isn't coming from any ivy or the money it costs to attend an Ivy League school. 118,084 new. Vermont does not contain an Ivy League school. Comes close with Middlebury. Shout out Middlebury. It's a little Ivy. I love Vermont, and so do the 118,000 plus of you getting Q5. What nation is responsible for reading the original Riot Act? England, India, or USA? It's a fancy way of saying, where did the Riot Act originate? In what country? Reading the Riot Act hasn't always been a metaphor, people. It was passed, the real thing was passed in 1714, and the Riot Act was literally read by the police to gatherings that seemed like they were about to boil over. So polite. Had to have originated in good old England. The proper Brits. Jolly England's your answer. 78,429 are buttering their crumpet. And you at Q6. What former U.S. president has helped to nearly eradicate guinea worm disease? Gerald Ford, Bill Clinton, or Jimmy Carter? Yeah, and you're sitting there in your office thinking, guinea worm disease is a thing? Uh-huh. It's called dracunculiasis. Dracunculiasis. Guinea worm disease used to be a big problem in Africa until Jimmy Carter did something about it. JC still going strong at 93, building houses, eradicating disease, making peanut butter sandwiches. 56,705. There's no crisis of confidence for you. No malaise in today's quiz. You're getting Q7. Which of these leagues lets teams have the greatest number of players on an active roster? NFL, MLB, or NHL? In which league can you have the most players on an active roster at any given time? Is this question out of your league? We'll find out. The NFL allows teams to put 53 players on its roster and activate 46 of them on game day, which is close to double what either the MLB or the NHL allow. NFL is your answer here at Q7, and 40,933 HQDs are breaking the tackle. They could go all the way. For the rest of you, NFL stands for not for long. You lasted halfway through, but you got to go all the way to the end zone. Q8. Panama's national drink Seco is an alcohol distilled from what? Plantains, rice, or sugar cane? Panama, bow, 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 Panama, how? Seco Herrerano is a clear liquor typically sold at about 70 proof, often served with milk, which sounds gross, but makes more sense once you understand it comes from sugar cane. Ooh, a little milk and sugary sweet syrup. That sounds delicious. Ain't no... you 24,618 of you should be taking a celebratory shot of Seco right now. It's all right. It's the afternoon. You deserve it. We're raising Cane for Q9. The phrase pushing the envelope has its roots in what activity? Flying a plane, political bribery, or business accounting? Pushing the envelope has nothing to do with mailing letters or actual paper envelopes. It's the flight aeronautical term referring to the performance limits of a flying object, such as a plane. Flying a plane. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plane, and it falls on the plane for 6,815 of you here on a slightly savage Q. We are chasing that paper. You are 3 questions closer to a digital envelope full of cash. You got to answer these 3. Q10. Of these 3 states, which has more water area? California, Michigan, or Minnesota? Water area. Water. The stuff of life. Over 40,000 square miles of fresh water can be found in this state, which beats the land of 10,000 lakes and California by more than 30,000. It's the mitten, Michigan, by a mile, or should I say 8 mile? Huh? Go Blue! 4,112 are going to be taking a Michigander at Q11. You've made it to the penultimate question today. How does the maximum height of the St. Louis Gateway Arch compare to its maximum width? The same, shorter, or longer? Is the max height and width the same? Is the max height shorter, or is it longer? Gateway Arch. Because of an optical illusion, it doesn't look this way, but the arch is exactly as wide as it is tall, 630 feet. It's an illusion, Michael. A trick is something a whore does for money. Or cocaine. The same, la misma, 2,798 of you passing through the gateway to the west and to Q12. You did it. You made it all the way to the finish line, but you got to answer one more Q. This is it, folks. It all boils down to this. $5,000 is riding on this final question of the afternoon for the 2,798 HQDs left at Q12. In the only multi-continental Summer Olympics, what 2 continents shared hosting duties? Europe and Asia, Asia and Australia, or Australia and Europe? $5,000 is riding on this. Well, it's probably going to be a couple bucks, but the 1950s, what your parents might remember as a simpler time. Not so simple for the IOC. The 1956 Summer Olympics were held in Melbourne, Australia, mostly. But because of Australia's strict quarantine laws at the time, horses could not be brought into the country. But you're thinking to yourself, what about the equine events? Well, the Olympics were split between Melbourne, Australia, and Stockholm, Sweden, where the horses competed. Australia and Europe is your answer at Q12. And we have a savage Q12 with 523 winners, baby! 523 taking home the gold on this afternoon's HQ Monday afternoon. Look at that. Just a shade under $10. Alexander Hamilton. You won an Alexander Hamilton, minus 43 or 44 cents. Going to Marine 1989. Are you a Marine? Thank you for your service. L.A. Alice, Intellectual Law. E. Murray 8, feeling great. Chicago Murph, Finer Gollum, a little Thomas the Tank Engine. I'm cutting all y'all a check with my giant novelty scissors for $9.56 or 57. Congratulations.